Kyla Miller in the amount of $300.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may be seated.
Ms. Young claims she cleaned her co-worker's home for a discounted rate and says instead of being paid, she was called a thief. Ms. Miller is countersuing for $1,795.
State your name.
Marcy Young.
Ma'am.
Kyla Miller.
All right. And you are suing the defendant for $300, alleging she owes you this money for house cleaning services.
That is correct.
And you are countersuing for $1,795, alleging that she stole your jewelry or something, or a household item.
Yes, sir.
All right. Start with you.
Me and Kyla have been working for maybe about 2 or 3 years together. We hang out sometimes after work.
What have you all done together? What type of?
We are 911 dispatchers.
911 dispatchers.
Yes.
Okay.
And so sometimes, we hang out after work, drinks, things of that nature. I was telling her about my side business, which is a cleaning business. And for months, she's been telling me that she's been needing me to come and clean. So finally, we text and confirm. She tells me about her house. I give her a price of $300. I walk in the house. Clearly, it's a hefty discount because it was wild.
It was like his place.
I'm assuming
a catastrophe.
So. I'm assuming so. So I had me and my employee. If it's not an apartment, I always have somebody else with me. And we proceeded to clean. And I know we did a good job because I always do a good job. And as we're getting ready to leave, I'm packing up, taking the trash out. She comes storming, cussing us out, telling us to open our MF bags. And I'm just like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute, let's slow it down. You need to open up your bag because my earrings are missing. And I'm like, girl, I don't know.
Had she left the house for any time during that cleaning?
No, she was there the entire time. She was downstairs.
Okay, let me hear from you.
Your Honor, so initially, I did hire her for her cleaning services. We've been friends for about 3 years, and we would go out to eat. I would support her kids. So we had a good working relationship, and we would hang out after work.
Yeah,
so
y'all laid off now?
We still work at the same place.
Do you think that she laid off? She has a full-time job. She has a business on the side, and she's not laid off. So why would this woman steal from you? That's my point. She is working full-time as she always has, and now has a side business, and she's a friend that hangs out with you all the time. But I'll let you tell me. You must know something I don't know about her.
And I wondered the same thing.
She smoke crack on the side?
Not that I know of.
Oh, well, okay. Well, tell me why you think this friend of yours would do that. So you don't smoke, do you, ma'am?
I do not.
Take pills?
Do not.
Heroin?
None.
Go ahead. That's the only folks. Go ahead, ma'am.
Initially, when she arrived that
Crystal
day...
meth?
No.
Oh, you were slow about answering that?
I got you on some wine, though.
She a wine, no. You ain't got to steal to drink wine. You can hang out outside the party store and get somebody to buy you a $2 bottle of wine. Go ahead, though.
Initially, when she came that day, her and her employee, as she said, showed up. But this whole time, she never told me another person was coming with her. We never discussed it or anything, so I don't know who this person is that was at my house. And I'm pretty private. I don't like people at my house. Like my items where they are. So I was a little upset when she showed up. And, I didn't want to be weird or anything, so I let them clean. I let them in the house. And about an hour and a half went by, and they were cleaning up and stuff. And as they were coming down, I was looking around, just to make sure, because I don't know who this other person is. And as I go upstairs to check my bathroom counter, I noticed my hoop earrings were missing off my counter.
Okay, so let me go through her with these questions again. The person you had with you.
Yes.
Are they laid off?
No, she's not laid off, but she does have a new job.
And she ain't got her first check yet.
No, she's with me for about a year. She was very reputable.
Part-time?
A lot of people, yes. And
no. We might be on to something.
Judge, I'm sorry, but I'm telling you, a lot of people requested her for while she was with me, and maybe about...
Yeah, but they ain't had no earrings laying around. This is a different situation. She laid off?
She's not laid off.
She smoke crack?
She does not smoke crack.
Heroin?
None.
Pills?
No.
Crystal meth?
No.
Ain't nobody took your stuff.
Coming up on Mathis Court with...
Go ahead, tell me what you believe happened.
So when I noticed my earrings were missing, I was angry because I knew exactly where I placed them on my counter, and I just come running downstairs before they left.
When had you placed them there?
When I got home that day. So.
When did they come? What time did they come?
Maybe around 3:30 p.m.
Prior to you discovering your earrings, no one had been in the house.
Correct.
Go ahead.
Correct. So I came downstairs, to ask her initially. I was angry, so I was a little bit hostile. I can't lie. Yes, a little bit.
A little bit? I thought you were going to fight me.
I asked her politely.
No.
And I did.
No.
To, show me her belongings, or at least her and her employee empty their belongings. Something a normal person would do.
Open your MF bag.
Yeah, no.
Open your MF bag.
I only did that after you refused, and I tried to be nice about it.
You should have showed her your badge.
We work at the same place, Your Honor.
No, I'm saying you must work on the side as a police officer.
I'm going to be, yes.
Okay, and well, until you finish, you can't ask anybody to search them.
Yes, sir.
You're not a law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
And no one has an obligation. That would be a favor she's doing for you. In general, if my 2-year friend I've been hanging out with, we're friends, suddenly you tell me you don't just ask, hey, did she say, have you seen them? Please tell me she at least said that first.
She came down yelling and
Please say she said, have you guys seen my earrings?
I did ask, have you seen my earrings? I asked her, have you seen my earrings?
No.
They said no, and they were looking at each other very confused while we all tried to figure this out together.
That is not what happened. You know what, Judge Mathis? I own a reputable black-owned business, and if she would have asked me nicely, I would have opened my bag. But she came at me, cursing me out, and that was just out of line.
What do you mean? White folks wouldn't do it like that?
They could too.
You say you have a black-owned business,
I do
and
have
that's
a
why you
black-owned
would do it.
reputable
You're trying to
business.
say that white-owned businesses steal.
But what I'm saying is my business
Talking about white
steal.
people in my court. When you talk about black, there's an opposite side, white people. I protect white people. I don't say nothing bad about white people in my court.
You got it. You got it.
Go ahead. They know my politics. Go ahead.
I told her, I asked her first. I was angry. I did ask her. So when she refused, I decided to call the police because these were very valuable earrings. I was hurt that I thought my friend, would do me the favor of opening her stuff to show me.
Okay. When the police got there, were they still there?
No, they decided to leave before the
How
police.
long did it take for the police to come?
Probably about 15 minutes.
Yes.
Wow, I need to move where you're at. Police come in 15 minutes. Where are you all? In L.A.? What?
We're in Las Vegas.
All right. What community? Police come quickly there?
No. Especially not for
They
that.
did that day.
They
came.
did that day.
They did that day.
All
When I
right.
called, they came.
Did she tell you she was calling the police?
She did tell me she was calling the police.
So why'd you leave out? Why couldn't
Because
you take...
she was acting like she wanted to fight me. She was getting very rowdy, like I said, cursing me and my employee out, and I thought it just wasn't a good situation. Why would I sit there and wait for the police? And I know as 911 dispatcher, I know that this isn't serious, and it might take them an hour
And
to
you
get
know
there.
how long it takes. You send the police,
That's
so
what
you
I'm-
know how
that's-
long it takes.
Exactly.
That's your profession.
Exactly.
Is to see how long it takes for the police to get to the resident that has called them.
Right.
You say, police, the person call 911. Miss Marcy, I got an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Can you call the police? Mm-hmm. You say, boom, hang up. Police, get there as soon as you can. Then you're able to see on a board or something that shows how long and how far they are away. So when the person calls you back, they're 2 minutes away.
Yep.
So she knows that operation. So I don't believe that she would assume it's going to be 15 minutes, first of all. And then, but on the other hand, if you thought it was going to be 15 minutes, you could wait in the car.
Of course.
You didn't have to wait for her, but I wouldn't assume she would think it would only be 15 minutes. The average police call on something like that, where unless you told them you felt in fear of your life, they're not coming for an hour. They're not coming. It's a non-emergency to them. My house cleaner, I can't find my earrings, and the house cleaner's the only one could have taken them. What did they tell you?
Yeah, it was the fact that I was their coworker in the same community, so they respond faster for their own, and they took a report for me. They did. So when they came there, they were already gone, and they ended up taking the report for me.
Okay, a report. So what did they do about the report? Did
I have
they
the evidence, right?
No, tell me. Did they investigate it?
They did. They got their story from me. They asked me what happened.
No, investigate.
They
Not
did.
get the story from you. They got their story from you on the report.
Right.
I'm saying they follow up. When police have a reasonable suspicion that it occurred, not even probable cause, a reasonable suspicion that what you're saying might be true, they assign a detective to investigate. So did you get that?
Yeah, they're still investigating right now.
Okay.
Yes.
When is the last time you spoke with them?
About a week ago.
And they said, we're still investigating.
Correct.
When did the incident occur?
It occurred about maybe 6 months ago.
Okay, 6 months it's taking them to even tell you that they're investigating. All right. I'm tempted to think that they told you it was a civil claim and take it to court. That's what I'm tempted to believe. They didn't tell you that?
Initially, the detective, after the week, told me it was a civil claim.
I knew the truth was going to come out. She's going to talk to me about law enforcement. I know y'all do the fire department, but this is my area. But nonetheless, you're here being sued yourself for failing to pay for the services you provided.
Yes.
And she's saying that she don't think she should pay because she believes you did it. Now, what about bringing this person with you?
I am unable to bring her with me.
I don't know. I'm saying to clean the home. She has stated that she didn't think it was appropriate for you to bring a stranger into her home to help clean.
Now, see, Judge Mathis, I believe that she has some type of memory problems because during the time, and maybe because we were drinking too, but as I was telling her, if it's not an apartment, I always bring somebody with me. She told me she had upstairs, downstairs, 3 bedrooms. I can't do that in 2 hours for $300, and I typically charge $500. And so for me, yes, I'm going to bring somebody. I didn't tell her who, but yes, I always have somebody with me.
And that's that if it's a home, that is typical.
Yes.
House, unless you're going to spend 7 hours there, you can't complete a 3-bedroom house with how many levels? 2 levels?
It's 2 levels.
With 2 levels. And how many hours did?
I was there about 2 hours.
She expect you would have been there for double that time, at least 4 to 5 hours.
Yes.
So it's reasonable for someone to bring someone if they are, you just perhaps don't know the industry. The most irritable thing to me in the world is our housekeeper putting my stuff in different places than they found it. That irritates me to death. If it's something that's customary, people don't ask. It's customary for you to be sworn in. It's customary for you to say your name in court. So you don't come in here asking, Judge, do I have to be sworn in? Judge, do I have to say my name in court? No, you wouldn't ask me because you know that's customary to be sworn in. So it's customary to bring 2 people for a 2-level, 3-bedroom house, I would suspect. So that's where I am with her bringing the second person. However, you are responsible for whatever that second person did. Now, you didn't told me already this second person not smoke crack. What they do?
She doesn't do anything.
No, she only worked part-time.
Yes.
Well, that's one step from smoking crack. You done already told me that she works part-time, and therefore she might be in need of money. How long have you known her?
I've known her on and off. She's a family friend, but she's worked with me about a year.
On and off, mean in and out of rehab?
No.
What do you mean on and off? What you mean by on and off?
No.
All right, ma'am. The $300 is right along with her counterclaim of $1,795, and you have the obligation to prove it. So you have the obligation that she owes you because you clean.
Yes.
And I'll grant you your $300 for doing that because she did clean, correct?
Correct.
So the issue now becomes your $1,795 for the price of the earrings. Well, there were 2 people there. However, she is your employee. So the issue becomes, did you really put your earrings in there? And how do we know you did? My son, the bailiff, rather, told me that there's a lie detector test that you all have taken.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, well, that's making this easy.
Yeah.
Who has the results?
I can get it for you.
You have them? Okay, thank you.
You know, when you live like that, you just forget a whole bunch of stuff.
But I know where everything is.
You know,
and I've never lost anything.
Your mind is your surroundings, and her surroundings is very cluttered.
I was an employee, because nothing was missing before you came.
Did you, Marcia Young, steal the defendant's diamond hoop earrings?
I did not.
Well, lie detector says you did.
Wow. No,
Your claim is dismissed.
I knew it.
Your claim is dismissed. And
You know,
yours
I
is
would like
granted.
another lie detector test.
I knew it.
No, I did not
All
steal your
rise.
earrings.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff has been ordered to pay $1,795.
Any final words?
Once a thief, always a thief.
Clearly, I am not a thief.
Well, you hired them, so
I am not a thief, and
apparently not.
My name is James Sanchez, Your Honor.
All right. And, sir, you're suing the defendant for $400, alleging he owes this money for the work you perform on him. You are a tattoo artist. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Start with you.
Yes, Your Honor. So my name is Tony Legacy. I run a traveling tattoo business called Travel Tattoos. And I am suing the defendant for $400 because we signed a contract for 3 to 4 hours of work that I performed at his party. He was supposed to offer $400 up front and $400 after the deposit. And he did not, upon my completion of the services, give me that delineated amount. So I am here, and
Did he say why?
he was not pleased with the work, but he signed the contract.
I know, but he signed the contract for $800, put $400 down, and pay the other upon completion, right?
Yes, that's
All
correct,
right,
sir.
and that's usually
Yes,
in the
Your Honor.
law satisfactory complete. You can't, if a person comes to a auto shop and says, "I like that car, I want to buy it," and you say, "Okay, put $400 down and pay me the $400 when you get back." When they get back and that car doesn't work, you think you still owe that $400? Let me hear from you, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. My name is James Sanchez. I live and work in Los Angeles. I'm a party promoter, Sanchez Entertainment. And
He's been there, no doubt.
yeah.
This man know every club in the city. He got.
I'm a man of law now.
Here you are in the law.
Yeah. Well, what I do, Your Honor, is more of private events, like different people or like record labels. If there's somebody having a record release party or something like that. And for some of my exclusive
Guys are doing
clientele,
well,
that I wanted them to have a private party, and I was going to host it at my residence. And I thought a cool idea, you know, for a memorable party, get a tattoo. I'd found out about this guy through my cousin. My cousin was raving about him. This guy does great tattoos. Eventually we met, and after like our second time meeting, we got down to business. I wanted to have this party, and I wanted the tattoos at the party, so I asked him to send the contract, and I gave him the deposit.
How many people were there to have tattoos done?
There are 22 people at the
How many
party.
actually had tattoos
There are
done?
5 people that had tattoos done.
And were they satisfied?
They were not.
Did they tell him?
Your Honor, the whole time they
Hold
were
on,
working.
sir. Did your friends tell them? These are your
Yeah,
friends.
there was
These are
actually
your
a
friends.
girl.
Your friends, 5 friends, didn't like it. So one of those 5, or all 5, should have either told him, should have told you, say, "Hey, man, what the devil is this?
Well, no,
You brought this man, he didn't work on me, then messed my arm up."
Well, during the party, I had a girl come show me that she wasn't happy with the colors of the tattoos, and just kind of based on his demeanor at the party, which wasn't very pleasant at all. After the fact is when I got most of the feedback from my
Okay.
party goers.
What was
'cause
his
I-
demeanor like?
Well, he's mobile tattoos, but I wanted it to go on. I prepared my office as like a space for him to be able to tattoo because in my neighborhood, I didn't want people coming in and out of the house, looky-loos at the van. I'm just trying to respect my neighbors. Once I asked him to do that, he agreed, but then he kind of had a bit of an attitude about it the whole night.
Your Honor, if I may interject, that was not the case. He asked me last minute when I showed up if I could take what I prepared very meticulously in my van and put it in this space that was basically a shoebox. And you know, when I tattoo someone, I have to kind of maybe turn my body a little bit, get precise, get close
Your Honor,
in, because
it's a room in
it's
a
a
house.
permanent
He
thing.
tattoos in a
It's a
van.
permanent thing. And I have a very careful station set up. I have to be sanitary, I have to be precise, I have to be able to move around. And that was not what was
Did
offered
you
for
explain
me.
that to him before?
I did,
And
but
he still
he was,
go with
if I
it?
may be honest, I showed up and he was a little intoxicated.
No, not
I had
true.
a little problem getting there because
true.
some of the streets were named Place and Drive and Court, and all the same, but I arrived eventually.
Could've
I
called
arrived
me.
with a little bit of time to spare, but I had to then bleed into the time with deconstructing my thing and putting it in the house. The people may have said and have regrets about their tattoos, but the whole time, the first lady, she was on her phone the whole time, texting, moving her arm that I was trying to tattoo.
Common thing.
As soon as...
To move your arm around while
That's
you're
a-
getting a tattoo? How many other complaints?
Well, the other person about the color, I have evidence to present to you if you would like to see.
Tell me first.
Yeah,
The
about...
color. What did she say about the color?
She said that the color was not basically accurate what she wanted, but
Okay.
I had to tell her, well, it's going to heal. Your skin heals over it. The color might become brighter or might become duller, and certain colors don't exactly have the same shine that others do. And so I told this to her, but among, you know, the host, other people were getting a little rowdy.
So that's 2. How many others?
There was 5, and actually one of the
5
people...
complained?
No, 5 were
I'm
tattooed.
asking how many complained.
And I think there was
5.
one more. 5 complained to you.
3 out of 5 complained, the majority of them.
Well, that's because the conditions were not there for me to work. This
Well, then you
person,
shouldn't have done it, sir. You shouldn't have done it. You're saying your trade requires enough room to perform properly, yet you went and got into a room that wasn't large enough, even though you knew.
well, Your Honor, when I showed up and I said I wanted to do the services in my van, the defendant was maybe a little belligerent and would not
And
allow
that's when
me
you
to
should
do
have turned
that.
around and went home.
I signed
So-
a contract. I wanted to do
But he
good
breached
on
the
that.
contract by not allowing you to do it in your van.
Which he agreed to, Your Honor.
He agreed to what?
He consented. I asked him to go in the house.
Was
and he
that
went in the
before
house.
the contract or after?
It was not stipulated.
Was
in the
that before
contract.
signing the contract?
This was after.
Well then, he doesn't have to change. You should have went home. Your contract said do it in the van where you always practice your profession. He said, well no, take away from your profession, do it in this little room. And you did. You should have said, no, I'm not going to be able to give you satisfactory service. So no, sir. All the money in the world, take your money back. That's what should have happened, sir. But what did you do after your 5 people complained, or 3 out of the 5, or what have you?
Okay, well, by the time he finished the fifth tattoo, the party was over.
What was the process? How did it go, the process? Could they have seen he was doing it wrong? Was he focused? What do you think caused it?
Well,
Or did you put him in a position to fail?
I don't think it's that necessarily, Your Honor. I feel like if he's a professional doing tattoos, like, he does them in a van, first off. I'm putting him in a room. If anything, that's an upgrade in space, in my opinion.
No, you're taking him out of his environment, his business environment. Go ahead. If you put me in a mansion, a mega mansion, right now to hear a case, you're taking me out. I'm not going to do a good enough job. I'm not going to do the same job in a mega mansion. Yeah, you upgrade me. Go ahead, sir.
He was in and out of the room, going to the bathroom a lot during the night.
A lot?
More than I feel was necessary. It kind of seemed like he was doing a little bit of a pouty move here and there, because like I said, he came in with the
Pouting or
attitude.
powder?
Like pouty.
Oh.
Like a pouty mood, a bit of an attitude. Not
Got it.
excited about doing his job, and not really displaying a level of professionalism that you would if you're getting paid to do something.
What professionalism did he lack?
He wasn't welcoming to people. I was asked, he was taking a long time. I asked him one time if maybe it could
I
go a
ain't
little
welcoming.
quicker.
When you're
I'm not
client- when you're
welcoming
just-
as some of these folks will tell you. Depending on who it is, you're not welcome here either, the way I'm gonna treat you. You get disrespectful, you're not gonna feel welcome.
One of the clients was trying to touch my hair as I was tattooing. How am I supposed to work like that?
There you
I never
go.
saw that.
Well, he's telling you now. What else did he do wrong? Well, you said
Ran out
because
of the bathroom.
he wasn't pleasant and courteous. He may not be a pleasant and courteous person. He doesn't come across to me, no offense. You don't come across as pleasant and courteous.
No, he's an
those
artist with the attitude,
those are the
Your
people.
Honor.
Those are the artists that usually do the best job. They're weirdos.
Well, if you're going to
You know that if you're gonna go and get some art done, go to find you a weirdo. Don't find you no regular nice man that's gonna do your art. Get you an eccentric. I meant eccentric. That's the name.
No, you want the people with the piercings in the lips and the
There you go.
tattoos all over.
There you go. You want that. You want
know what they're
eccentric people
Well,
to
Your
do
Honor,
tattooing.
If this eccentric artist is to the point where he wants to monetize his art, there's a level of professionalism that
Been doing
can
this
come
for
with
8
that.
years, sir.
If he could draw up a contract, he can maintain a calm attitude regardless of the circumstance and do the job he was getting paid to do.
Pretty calm.
But
You
he
can't
didn't,
make this
and that's
man
why
have
I'm
a
not gonna pay him.
personality. Personality is not required. I've been to some barbers who don't say a word, and I don't like them because they won't say a word, but I don't hop out that chair. And I give that man his money. I just don't come back.
These people got bad tattoos. You know, potentially could ruin my business. And he just goes off in a van and continues his life doing mid-tattoos.
People can leave me reviews too. And if I'm the only activity at your party, maybe you should plan a little better.
But that was not the only activity.
Sir, everybody
Your Honor.
ain't high and
There are
crazy
dancers,
at that party.
we got the DJ, there's a special bartender serving signature
The majority
cocktails.
of the people he tattooed complain, and everybody's not high or crazy that was at that party. The majority of them complain. I believe you did not do a sufficient job. Claim dismissed. Have a good day.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
Judge Mathis.
Eileen Wills is suing Dorothy Knoll in the amount of $1,378. Ms. Wills claims she left her children home alone for a few minutes and says while she was gone, her meddling neighbor broke down her door to check on them.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may be seated. Both litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, sir. State your name, ma'am.
Hello, my name's Eileen Wills.
State your name.
Dorothy Knoll.
All right. Start with you. What's going on? How do you all know each other? What has your relationship been like?
So Dorothy is my next door neighbor, and she seems to always kind of have it out for me and my kids and complain about almost everything, like noise complaints at first.
How long have you all been neighbors?
About 1.5 years.
Okay, and how long after moving in did the complaints start?
Probably about 1 year, so about 6
Okay,
months
so
ago.
you and your family had a year. They had a year of good behavior, ma'am?
Not even.
Wasn't even a year. You say you had a year of good behavior, and then she started complaining. Why?
I don't know, it just seems like maybe she had seen us being happy and doing our things in our life and just kind of jealous, so maybe I have kids.
Your face is kind of turned up over there. she mad and unhappy. Is that what you're saying?
It feels that way, yes.
Give me some background on your association with your neighbor.
She moved in with her daughter and 2 sons. They're all young.
You been taking Percocet.
No, sir.
You got your eyes closed, you're rocking a little
she
bit.
just makes me feel.
Your face was all whatever.
No, sir. She just makes it sound kind of petty. But everything is very neglected at her house. Everything, the yard is neglected. Her children are neglected.
The yard or the children or both?
Both, sir.
What do you mean by her? Tell me, you talking about this woman's kids and how they look.
Dirty.
Describe. Wow, how? What do you see that give you the impression that they're dirty?
Dirt on
What's
their
the
faces, under their nails. Their clothes are dirty. And not fitting.
How old are they?
8 and 6.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about my mama, huh?
I'm sorry?
You're talking about my mama. When I was 6 and
No,
I was
sir.
8, I played outside in the dirt like all children do. What do you expect from a 6 to 8-year-old? But the property, the way it's kept or unkept, if you will, is a real issue that you may have. Describe that.
The yard is always unkept, never cut. There's toys everywhere. The swimming pool last summer was left out with water standing for weeks.
She a single mother? You a single mother, ma'am?
I am.
How many
Yes.
children?
I have 3, actually.
Okay, my mother was a single mother with 4 boys in the toughest housing projects in Detroit. So yeah, we got dirt, a lot of dirt on us in a lot of different ways. And I can't tell you about how the yard was kept because
That was the projects. Yeah, we didn't have no yards. So I don't know about a yard either. All right, and tell me why you're suing her. You can't just sue her for talking about you being nasty.
So I'm suing her because she broke into my house and broke my door down.
See there? Around here breaking in people's houses.
My front door.
Not for no
My
good
brothers
reason, Your
them
Honor.
did that in the projects.
It wasn't for no good reason. Her children were calling out.
You look at you. You seem like you high off that Percocet. You breaking in houses to feed your habit.
Her children were calling out for help.
What'd they say?
Please don't beat me. Please help me. Please don't hurt me. Over and over and over.
What did the children's services say when they came over to visit and to look
It was
into
the
those
police,
complaints?
actually, in my
and
yard.
To look over and look into those complaints, because I'm sure you made one. If you heard children saying, help me, don't beat me, don't beat me, I'm sure you immediately called the police, and they called Child Protective Services at some point, and they came over there and looked into that situation, and they came up with an assessment. So when they came over and talked with you, if they did they have an assessment? Did they come and talk with you? Let's start there.
Yes, they did. They
They must have had some type of element of evidence then. They came over, and what they want to talk to you about?
I ran out to the store just for like 15 minutes, and so I was gone just a little bit longer than that. And so when I came back, she was in my yard with the police standing there, and the front door was all busted down in the frame, actually. And so that's what I
Why do
came
you
home
think she
to.
would bust down the door then if it wasn't to what she believed an urgent circumstance of safety involving your children? Why would she do that?
Yeah, I'm kind of baffled that she wouldn't call me first instead of just breaking my door down, which doesn't make sense to me.
Good point, ma'am.
Why would I waste time calling you if one of your children were in trouble?
Did you call them right afterward?
I called the police.
Called the police, and then was the second call to her within a minute or so?
She was back by then.
No, she didn't call me at all.
And she wasn't back at the exact time you hung
Actually,
up
the
from the
police
police. No, ma'am, don't believe that. You had another 10 seconds to call their mother and say, I got the police here. There's a problem over here at the house your children are dealing with. Come, please, come. It's an emergency. Come home. Go ahead, ma'am. So she broke down the door, but she went in to try and see, was there a problem with your children?
No.
Yeah, she did. That's what she says. And you did leave them by themselves, a 7 and 8 year old.
At 9 o'clock at night.
Pardon? At 9 o'clock at night? She did right by you, ma'am.
If anything, my kids were scared because she was beating on the door so bad and breaking it down, and the frame. So it's not just the door, it's the frame as well.
Then why
What did
wouldn't
your
they call
children
you?
tell you when you spoke
Did they
with
call
them?
you and tell
What
you
did
I
they
was
say?
banging on the door?
They were scared because they didn't know who was like
So they
attacking
called
the
you.
house,
Did
basically.
they call you then?
And also they know to call me if something was going on, which they did give me a phone call.
So why do you think she busted in the door then?
I just think that she has it out for my family.
And called the police?
I don't think she likes kids. I think that's part of it.
That couldn't be further from the
Not
truth.
good answers, ma'am. Those aren't rational or reasonable answers. That a woman, because she doesn't like kids, time you go to the store, she busts down your door. And do what to your kids? What's she gonna
was
do?
gone
Just
for
to terrorize
well over
them?
an hour. Well over an hour at night.
I don't know. I don't think that breaking and entering into someone's home is like an excuse.
Under an emergency, it sure is. It sure is. If it's a fire in there, please break into her house
They wouldn't
and go and
answer
snatch
the door,
them
Your Honor.
7 and 8
They wouldn't
year-olds
even
out
call
of there.
back out. They just kept screaming.
She interpreted it as an emergency.
I can see how
And they were by themselves at 9 p.m. at night, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I can see how you might think that, but it's not that way. Yeah, I'm a very busy mom. I work 2 jobs to hold up everything at the house, and I keep up with a lot in my kids, and the only moment she's seen them, whether they were dirty, is when they were playing outside together.
I know, ma'am. I'm not even
You know?
paying attention to that.
And then one other time she gave me a hard time as well and called the police because she said that someone outside was in and out of the house. There were shady characters, and that one of my friends was outside smoking on the porch. Which
Now you're on to something.
Which she then complained about.
Yeah,
you know,
She
and then-
wanted to hit that. She said, they're out there smoking and won't give me a rock.
My friend was smoking pot. Then when the police came,
What you do on your own time is fine. What you do in front of your children is a completely different matter.
the kids were not part of this.
No, ma'am. Did you call the police on a
I
different
did.
occasion because you don't like the characters that come in and out? Now you've gone too far. You don't like the way the people look. It's because they were skinny and unkept.
No, I don't.
That doesn't mean they were crackheads. They could have been on a diet. Why do you call the police on her character friends? What did appear to them
They were smoking
that you
weed.
thought would put her or her family
They
in
were
fear?
consuming drugs on the porch that I could smell in my living room, strongly.
Okay.
And it was light outside. She has babies.
Why didn't you ask her? Did you go to her first and say something?
No.
Say, hey, you guys, the smoke, I can smell it over here. I'm getting a little contact high off that weed. And
No,
weed ain't
because
my
every time
thing.
I ask
If y'all
her-
gonna smoke some crack, then you can go ahead and do that. I take a crack contact, but I don't want no weed contact. Weed bring you down. I like to go up. And then you switched up on your thing.
No,
you don't
sir.
do crack no more. You went to Percocet, and now you coming here. Ma'am, you were wrong.
No.
She was right. I'm sorry. She was right to go in there and do that.
You feel that? Well, I would disagree, and I see that you can think this or that about me running to the store, but I've never left them besides that time, and this was like an only once an instance type of
But
situation.
this is a tough call. The question is, was she negligence? Negligence goes to reasonableness. Do you have are your actions reasonable in response to what you are engaged in or what you're seeing? It's called duty of care. Do you have a duty? And did you breach that duty? I would sue her more so if she didn't go in there and your kids were yelling.
Exactly.
And she has a duty. She has a duty of care to go over there. 7 to 8 year olds are yelling and they know the mother's not there. She has that duty. And so she wasn't negligent, ma'am. You were negligent in leaving them there. So I'm going to dismiss your claim.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
I just wish.
January Robeson is suing Grant Mowry in the amount of $5,950. Ms. Robeson claims her online date cooked a romantic dinner for her and says it caused a fire, which got worse when the defendant tried to extinguish the flames.
State your name.
My name is January Robeson.
All right. Yours?
My name is Grant Mooring.
All right, and you are suing the defendant for $5,950, alleging he is responsible for causing a fire to damage the property?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, start with you. Give me some background.
Okay, I'm a single mother of 3 kids, and I'm a retired bank investor. And my husband of 20 years cheated on me with his secretary. So that was the end of that marriage. So obviously, I want to meet somebody to spend the rest of my life
When
with.
did you divorce?
About 5 years ago.
Okay. What have you been doing? You say you wanted to meet someone since then.
I went on a dating site.
Okay.
And that's where I met Mr. Mowry.
Okay.
And we engaged in long distance romance. He lives in Houston, I live in LA, and so we had long conversations on the telephone, and we even had FaceTime videos.
Oh, I'm
with
scared
a little
before
bit
a minute.
of.
I thought you was gonna tell me more than we need to know.
Well, we did.
And we even, the way your face look, you lit up like a Christmas tree and say, yeah, and we even had
Well,
FaceTime. Okay. Get a background from you, sir.
That is correct. We met on a dating site, and even the first time I talked to her, she said her love language was gifts. So that's why I started sending her gifts. And the more gifts I sent her, and I should have realized this red flag, the more she liked me, more come out to LA and visit me. And so that's what I did. I came out to Los Angeles. She lives in Beverly Hills.
Okay, how was that stay?
Well, I would say the first 3 hours were good, and then it went south after that.
How so? So you got a 3-hour run. How so? What happened?
Well, and again, what happened? So I got to her house, and she said, "Hey, I want to show you my house, and I'm going to be very nice here." She said, "Hey, I want to go to the bedroom," and I was like, "Okay." But it's kind of embarrassing. As a man, it's going to be very embarrassing. But everything didn't work that day. If you know what I mean, manhood thing didn't work that day.
No, I don't know what you mean. I don't want to. I don't think I want to know.
Yeah.
I'm an older woman, and I have standards. Some people say that I'm picky, but I have standards. And I do not badmouth a man that cannot come up to my standards. But he and I are not meant for each other at all.
Why?
So the last night he was there, he insisted on cooking me dinner. So he cooks, well, he takes that little pill, and then the next thing you know, I'm in the living room. And he left a frying pan of grease unattended on my stove. Guess what happened? Started a fire. And do you know what he did to put it out? He got the lid and a towel, which guess what happened? It ignited it more.
Sir, let me hear from you on this.
So then that is true. I took the magic blue pill so I could do what we needed to do. So I was cooking, and I think she really liked that. She came, started kissing on me and telling me some nice things in my ear, and she took me out to the living room. We were sitting on the couch and getting to know each other in an intimate way. And then all of a sudden I smelled some smoke, and I said, "Do you have a smoke detector?" She's like, "No, I don't think so." So I jumped up, ran in the kitchen, and there it was. That grease fire had started, and all those there was a lid and that towel, and just out of reaction, I grabbed the lid and I put the towel, and she came into the kitchen.
Who put the fire out with the towel?
"Do you have a fire extinguisher?" She's like, "What's a fire extinguisher?"
I did not say that.
You don't need an extinguisher until the fire starts. Do you think it would have happened had someone not started the fire?
Well, a fire has to start by somebody,
Right.
yes.
And how did it start this time?
By the grease.
And who was dealing with the grease?
Well, I was, sir, but she took
Thank
me away.
you. $950 is your judgment, as he admitted, and therefore you are the one. You and the grease had the grease split it with you, since you want to put it on the grease, and he's the one that's going. He and the grease are going to pay you $5,950. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $5,950.
I'm sorry it came to this. I am a good person, but you did start the fire, so I'm sorry.
I'm glad I live in Houston and you live in LA.
কিন্তু দুঃখের বিষয় হচ্ছে অনেক মানুষ আমাদেরকে কমেন্ট করে থাকেন আমলটি কিভাবে করতে হবে, আমাদেরকে তা জানিয়ে দিন। কিন্তু আমি সেই সকল ভাইদেরকে বলতে চাই, আপনারা ভিডিওটি 2-1 মিনিট দেখে কেন সরাসরি কমেন্ট বক্সে এই কথাগুলো লিখেন? আপনারা যদি এই ভিডিওটি সম্পূর্ণ মনোযোগ দিয়ে দেখেন তাহলে আপনারা এই ভিডিওর মধ্যেই পেয়ে যাবেন কিভাবে আপনাদেরকে আমলটি করতে হবে এবং কখন করতে হবে। তাই অবশ্যই ভিডিওটি সম্পূর্ণ দেখবেন। যদিও আমি আজকে আপনাদের জন্য ভিডিওটির প্রথমেই আমলটির কথা বলে দিব, কিন্তু তারপরও আপনাদেরকে সম্পূর্ণ ভিডিওটি দেখতে হবে, নয়তোবা আপনারা আমলটির ব্যাপারে বিস্তারিত কিছুই বুঝতে পারবেন না। আপনারা শুধু আমলটির কথা শুনে ভিডিওটি কখনোই স্কিপ করবেন না, তাহলে আপনারা কিছুই বুঝতে পারবেন না। আর আমার প্রিয় ভাই ও বন্ধুরা, আমি আপনাদেরকে এতটুকু গ্যারান্টি দিতে পারি, যখনই আপনারা এই আমলটি করা শেষ করবেন তখন সাথে সাথেই আপনার জন্য রিজিকের দরজা খুলে যাবে। মহান আল্লাহ তাআলা রাব্বুল আলামিন অবশ্যই আপনার রিজিক বাড়িয়ে দিবেন। কেননা আপনারা এতটুকু মনে রাখবেন, আমাদের জীবনের যত চাহিদা রয়েছে, আমাদের জীবনে যে জিনিসগুলোর অপূর্ণতা রয়েছে, আমাদের জীবনে যে জিনিসগুলো এখনো পাওয়া হয়নি, সেই সমস্ত কিছু একমাত্র দিতে পারেন মহান আল্লাহ তাআলা রাব্বুল আলামিন। তাই আপনারা অবশ্যই দুপুরে গোসল করে এই আমলটি করবেন এবং মহান আল্লাহ তাআলা রাব্বুল আলামিনের উপর বিশ্বাস রাখবেন। দেখবেন আপনি খুব দ্রুতই ধনী হয়ে গিয়েছেন এই আমলটি করার ফলে। এই আমলটি করলে শুধুমাত্র আপনার সমস্যা দূর হবে না, বরং সে মহান আল্লাহ তাআলা রাব্বুল আলামিনের পক্ষ থেকে আপনাদের সমস্ত চাহিদাই পূরণ হয়ে যাবে। শুধুমাত্র আপনাদেরকে সম্পূর্ণ বিশ্বাসের সাথে আমলটি করতে হবে। আমরা যে আমলের কথা আপনাদেরকে বলবো, আপনারা সেই আমলটি অবশ্যই মন থেকেই করবেন। তারপরে দেখবেন কিভাবে আপনার ভাগ্য পরিবর্তন হয়ে যায়, অবশ্যই আপনি সফলতা পাবেন। আমার প্রিয় ভাই এবং বোনেরা, আপনারা কোনোভাবেই এই আমলটি মিস করবেন না। আমি আজকের এই ভিডিওটিতে যে আমলটির কথা আপনাদেরকে বলবো, এই আমলটি আপনাকে দুপুরে গোসল করার পর করতে হবে। আমাদের এই ভিডিওটি দেখছেন এমন অনেক দর্শক রয়েছেন, তাদের নামাজ